Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or struggled to recall a familiar name that's just at the tip of your tongue? If so, you're not alone, and it might not just be age catching up with you. Certain everyday foods could be silently harming your memory without you even realizing it. Today, we're uncovering 7 surprising foods that could be stealing your sharpness after 50 and showing you simple swaps to protect your mind for years to come. Let's get started. Food 1. Sugary breakfast cereals. It might seem like a quick and easy start to your day, pouring a colorful box of cereal into a bowl, adding some milk, and thinking you're fueling your body. But hidden behind the bright packaging and cheerful mascots is a dangerous truth. Most popular breakfast cereals are packed with refined sugars and simple carbohydrates. When we consume a high-sugar breakfast, our blood sugar spikes rapidly, giving a short burst of energy, but what follows is a sharp crash. That crash leaves the brain struggling for a steady energy supply, causing brain fog, poor memory recall, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. A 2022 study in neurobiology of aging found that high sugar intake directly correlates with a shrinking hippocampus, the vital memory center of the brain. The smaller the hippocampus, the more pronounced the memory loss over time. Mrs. Linda, a 65-year-old client of mine, used to start her mornings with a big bowl of frosted cereal. She loved the sweet taste and the nostalgia of it. But over time, she noticed that she couldn't remember simple things: appointments, phone numbers, even where she parked her car. After reviewing her diet, I encouraged her to swap her breakfast for a low-sugar, high-fiber alternative. She started eating steel-cut oats, topped with a handful of fresh blueberries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Within a month, she reported sharper memory, more stable moods throughout the morning, and less fatigue. Steel-cut oats provide slow-releasing complex carbohydrates, avoiding the sugar roller coaster. Blueberries, often called brain berries, are loaded with antioxidants that protect neurons from oxidative damage. The truth is, breakfast sets the tone for your entire day. Choosing the right fuel. Every morning isn't just about feeling full, it's about protecting your brain for the long journey ahead. Are you ready to swap the sugar bomb for real nourishment? Your mind deserves it. Food 2. Processed meats. Bacon sizzling on a Sunday morning, a hearty deli sandwich at lunch, or a quick sausage snack. These are everyday comforts many people enjoy. But here's the hidden danger. Processed meats, like bacon, sausages, salami, and ham, are not just loaded with saturated fats and sodium. They also contain chemical preservatives called nitrates and nitrites, which have been linked to severe inflammation and oxidative stress inside the body, including the brain. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease revealed a startling connection. Individuals who consumed processed meats regularly had a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline and dementia compared to those who ate minimal amounts. Why does this happen? When nitrates are digested, they can form harmful compounds called nitrosamines, which damage the delicate blood vessels supplying oxygen and nutrients to the brain. Over time, reduced blood flow leads to the slow starvation of brain cells, impairing memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. I remember working with Mr. Harris, a retired engineer in his early 70s. He was sharp, witty, and loved solving puzzles until he began noticing little lapses, forgetting common words, losing his train of thought mid-conversation, and struggling with tasks that once felt effortless. His diet heavily featured ham sandwiches and bacon breakfasts. When we adjusted his meals to eliminate processed meats and incorporate lean protein sources like grilled chicken, lentils, and baked fish, the change was incredible. After just 3 months, he reported feeling more alert, quicker with his words, and even took up playing chess again. It's important to understand it's not about giving up the enjoyment of food. It's about making better choices that allow you to savor life longer and more vividly. Instead of reaching for processed meats, try marinated grilled chicken, herb-roasted turkey breast, or baked tofu, seasoned with rosemary and turmeric, 2 herbs shown to actively protect brain cells against inflammation. The right proteins can nourish your brain, strengthen your body, and empower your independence even as the years go by. Food 3. White bread. Soft, fluffy, and irresistibly convenient white bread has been a kitchen staple for generations. It's the foundation of quick sandwiches, buttery toasts, and comforting snacks. But beneath its soft texture lies a serious health concern, especially for your brain. White bread is made from refined flour, a product that has been stripped of almost all its fiber, vitamins, and minerals during processing. What remains is a simple carbohydrate that floods your bloodstream with glucose almost instantly after consumption. This rapid spike in blood sugar causes an inflammatory response throughout the body, and the brain is no exception. A 2020 study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly consumed high glycemic foods like white bread experienced a faster decline in memory and executive brain functions compared to those who focused on low glycemic fiber-rich foods. Mrs. Emily, one of my most memorable clients at 67, loved her morning toast. 2 slices of white bread with jam and butter were part of her daily ritual. Yet she constantly struggled with forgetfulness, missing doctor appointments, misplacing important papers, and even forgetting conversations she had just hours before. When we looked closely at her diet, the culprit was clear. She decided to replace her white bread with sprouted whole grain bread, topped with a light layer of almond butter. Within 6 weeks, she noticed remarkable improvements, better focus, fewer mental blanks, and a newfound energy that carried her through the day. Why does whole grain make such a difference? Unlike white bread, whole grains are digested slowly, releasing glucose steadily into the bloodstream. This stable energy supply nourishes brain cells, enhances neurotransmitter production, and reduces oxidative stress. Key factors in protecting memory and cognitive speed. Sprouted grain breads in particular are rich in antioxidants, B vitamins, and essential minerals like magnesium and zinc, all nutrients critical for brain health. So next time you reach for a sandwich or morning toast, remember, the simple act of choosing whole grain over white could mean years of sharper thinking and clearer memories ahead. Your brain deserves better fuel. Make the swap today. Food 4. Fried foods. The golden crunch of fried chicken. The irresistible crispness of French fries. Fried foods are designed to delight our senses, but behind that satisfying crunch lurks a hidden threat to your brain's future. Fried foods, especially those cooked in reused or cheap vegetable oils, are loaded with harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs, and trans fats. Both AGEs and trans fats ignite chronic inflammation throughout the body and brain, accelerating cognitive decline and memory loss. A 2020 study in the journal Nutrients discovered that individuals with the highest intake of fried foods showed a 25% faster rate of memory impairment compared to those who limited fried foods in their diets. But how exactly do fried foods hurt the brain? When you consume trans fats, they integrate into your brain's cellular membranes, making the cells less flexible and more prone to damage. This leads to slower neural communication, reduced plasticity, and over time increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. I once worked with Mr. Robert, a retired teacher in his late 60s, who loved his lunchtime ritual fried fish sandwiches and French fries. Initially, he thought occasional forgetfulness was just a normal part of aging. However, his family noticed worrying changes. He repeated stories, misplaced simple items, and struggled to follow conversations. When we examined his diet and gradually eliminated fried foods, replacing them with roasted vegetables, grilled fish, and nuts rich in healthy fats, the results were astonishing. Within 4 months, his mental clarity returned. He felt present again in conversations and even took up reading historical novels, something he hadn't enjoyed for years. If you crave something crispy, you don't have to give it up completely. Use an air fryer at home with healthy oils like olive oil or avocado oil. Try oven roasting sweet potato wedges, zucchini sticks, or chickpeas. These methods maintain the crunch without flooding your brain with toxins. Your brain is a delicate and powerful machine. Nourish it wisely and it will serve you well for decades to come. Food 5. Artificial sweeteners. In the quest to cut down sugar, many people turn to diet sodas, sugar-free candies, and low-calorie desserts, sweetened with artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin. It sounds like a healthy swap, fewer calories, lower blood sugar impact, right? Unfortunately, the reality is far more complex and far more dangerous, especially for your brain. Research published in Stroke Journal in 2021 showed that individuals who consumed diet beverages daily had a 3 times higher risk of developing stroke and dementia compared to those who rarely drank them. Artificial sweeteners disrupt the way the brain processes hunger and satiety signals. They confuse the gut-brain axis, leading to insulin resistance and chronic low-grade inflammation, 2 major contributors to memory decline and cognitive dysfunction. Mrs. Helen, a 64-year-old retired librarian, is a case I often think about. She loved her diet sodas, drinking 2 or 3 cans a day, believing they were harmless. Yet over time, she struggled more and more with short-term memory, forgetting why she walked into a room, losing track of conversations, misplacing important documents. When we reviewed her habits, her sugar-free drinks stood out immediately. After gradually phasing out artificial sweeteners and replacing them with naturally infused waters, lemon, cucumber, mint, or a splash of real fruit, she experienced profound changes. Within 2 months, she felt mentally sharper, slept more soundly, and even regained the energy to start a small book club in her neighborhood. Here's the truth. Artificial sweeteners don't just trick your taste buds, they trick your metabolism, your brain chemistry, and your memory processes. If you crave sweetness, choose real foods. Fresh fruits, a teaspoon of raw honey, or stevia from natural sources can satisfy your sweet tooth without endangering your brain. Remember, the goal isn't just to cut calories, it's to preserve the memories and experiences that make life rich and meaningful. Your future self will thank you for every smart choice you make today. Food. 6. Excessive alcohol. A glass of wine at dinner, a celebratory toast with champagne, or an evening cocktail. Alcohol has woven itself into many of life's traditions and social rituals. In moderation, certain types of alcohol like red wine may offer limited cardiovascular benefits. But when alcohol consumption becomes a daily habit, or when just one glass turns into 2 or 3, it silently becomes one of the greatest threats to your brain's health. According to a comprehensive study published in The Lancet Public Health in 2022, heavy alcohol use is associated with a significant shrinkage in brain volume, especially in the white matter, the essential pathways that connect different regions of the brain and allow them to communicate efficiently. What does this mean in everyday life? You may notice slower thinking, frequent memory lapses, emotional instability, and a gradual erosion of sharpness that feels almost invisible until it's too late. I'll never forget Mr. David, a 69-year-old retired architect. He prided himself on his sharp memory, his ability to sketch complex designs from imagination. But after years of nightly whiskey rituals, he found himself unable to focus on even simple tasks. Sketches that once flowed easily now felt confusing and overwhelming. When we addressed his alcohol intake and helped him transition toward herbal teas, sparkling water with lime, and mindfulness evening routines, a remarkable transformation unfolded. After just 2 months, his clarity returned. His hands grew steadier. His sketchpad, once abandoned, was full of new, vibrant designs. It's not just the amount of alcohol that matters, it's the consistency. Even moderate drinking, if done daily, can chip away at your brain's resilience. Alcohol disrupts sleep cycles, depletes essential B vitamins like thiamine, critical for brain function, and increases oxidative stress inside neural tissues. If you enjoy a drink now and then, savor it occasionally. Choose wine in moderation, or better yet, opt for calming alternatives like chamomile tea, tart, cherry juice, or simply sparkling water with a twist of lemon. Every time you say no to excess, you're saying yes to preserving the precious memories, talents, and wisdom that make you uniquely you. Your brain is worth protecting every single day. Food. 7. Margarine. For decades, margarine was marketed as the heart-healthy alternative to butter. Bright packaging words like low cholesterol and light spread made it seem like the obvious smart choice for those who cared about their health. But today we know the harsh truth. Many margarines, especially older or cheaper formulations, are loaded with trans fats, the most dangerous type of fat for both your body and your brain. Trans fats promote systemic inflammation, harden blood vessels, impair neuron signaling, and accelerate oxidative stress, a toxic combination that accelerates cognitive decline. A 2021 meta-analysis published in Neurology found that individuals with higher levels of trans fats in their blood had up to a 75% greater risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The damage is subtle at first. Difficulty finding the right words, slower reaction times, a fog that settles over once sharp thoughts. I remember Mrs. Karen, a vibrant 66-year-old retired teacher who loved baking for her grandchildren. She proudly used margarine in all her recipes, believing she was making a healthier choice. Over time, she noticed herself becoming forgetful, leaving ingredients out of recipes she knew by heart, struggling to remember the names of former students she had taught for years. When we gently reviewed her diet, margarine stood out as a red flag. She agreed to switch to healthier fats, real butter in moderation, mashed avocado on toast, extra virgin olive oil drizzled over salads. Within 6 weeks, Karen noticed her mental clarity improving. She laughed, saying she could now name every grandchild and every grandchild's favorite cookie without hesitation. Here's the empowering part. Healthy fats are not your enemy. They are your brain's best friend. Avocados, walnuts, olive oil, flax seeds, and small amounts of grass-fed butter are rich in essential fatty acids that rebuild brain cell membranes, support neurotransmitter function, and protect against inflammation. Every time you spread real food onto your plate instead of processed substitutes, you're investing in a future of independence, vitality, and sparkling memory. Choose wisely because your memories deserve the best foundation.